Lalit, what's your call on the market right now, given all the global events that await us in the month of September?
Sure. As I was saying, we've been cautious for some time now, largely because we've seen these short runs and then a correction. And we've been in a sideways market for quite a bit of time, and we've been talking about that. And the situation hasn't changed. The macroeconomic concerns, both globally as well as in India, I don't think the picture has changed. There was just a lot of expectation. So there was expectation on Jackson Hole and a possible announcement there from Ben Bernanke. There was expectation on something happening since the portfolio finance moved to Mr. Chidambaram. And some of those macro issues have actually seen the market running up ahead before actual action. Now, we haven't really changed our stance as far as caution is concerned. We've been in defensives to a great extent, and we don't see that changing. Because you see these rallies, you saw it from Jan to Feb, then you saw it again in June and again in July, and then you have this correction which comes in, which is essentially saying that the markets are running up a little ahead and it loses steam when you don't see action behind the expectation or the expectations not being met. So whether it's September or possibly the months to come, I think there are several macroeconomic issues which the markets can't ignore, and there isn't that conviction which one would expect. Fundamentally, we are at 14 times forward, so it's neither here nor there. It's not that we are extremely attractive, nor are we, I would say, expensive. So from a long-term perspective, you'd still want to look at this market. And we are relatively better placed than a lot of other countries. But you still want to be a little cautious because of stories in terms of the infra play, in terms of project announcements and policy action by the government. So you tend to be a little bit more cautious, and you really want to see something real happening on the ground before you take a little bit more active, you try to add a little bit more beta.
Okay, sectorally, what are your broad calls right now, Lalit?
We would stick with, some of the defensive names. We are going into second line defensive now that consumers have become a little bit steep in terms of pricing, in terms of multiples. So we're looking at second line defensives in pharmaceuticals. I think somebody just now mentioned that on your channel. And we like some names there. We like some utility companies, some second line IT names. These are, I think, reasonably good, even media to some extent, or cable operators for that matter, because they are not heavily owned, and I think they have a strong business traction in their models. Cash flows seem to be reasonably on the upswing going forward. So I think where there's business traction, we'd like to stick to those names. So that's where we would be placed.
Lalit, a prominent brokerage has come out today and said that they are advising clients to stay away completely from anything related to the government. So be it infra, cap goods, power. They are recommending not to touch any of these stocks, just stick to the consumer theme. The question mark really is, you think that excessive premium being given to consumers would still continue and people would still buy them, for the next 1 year? Or do you believe the situation might resolve itself and therefore either don't buy consumers, or even if you don't want to buy some of the beaten down names, maybe stay on cash? What's the better option?
Well, as mutual funds, we can't stay much on cash, so I can answer from our side. Our perspective, we would, as I said, we do find some of the consumer names a little steep in terms of valuations. And it's really not a call for possibly some of the international investors. They can decide against India itself. But for people who are investing only in India, it's going to be about defensives and second line defensives. So we are looking at moving a little bit away from the consumer space, and as I said, looking at names in pharma and utilities where we see there is a decent business model and there's a decent traction for the next few years.
The question largely was towards whether or not you would buy some of the beaten down pockets, and let's probably talk about them. Would you, say for example, touch PSU banks? Because there's a lot of concern about whether the book will remain like this or even shed a lot of weight over the next 6 months, and therefore the price to book currently might become meaningless. What's your sense on PSU Bank?
Fair enough. I mean, PSU banks are an avoid for us as of now. We are not really keen on a situation where we are not too certain, and where the government role is quite significant. We would probably want to stay away from that for a bit, and we are not really convinced that we should venture in that area right now.
Okay. Would you look at the oil marketing companies or something in the oil and gas space? One, with regards to how you envisage crude to do. Two, with the policy action that a lot of people are talking about right now, which might come at the end of the week. Of course, it's just belief and hope, but you never know.
Sure. So it's almost like a special situation, right? You're playing for a bounce, you're playing for a reversal in something, and that's not something we really can work on a fundamental basis. So in general, yes, to answer that question, whether there's a lot of government regulation involved and a government policy involved, it would be a filter for us when we look at stocks. While I wouldn't make a sweeping statement to say that anything related to government we won't touch, but it definitely is becoming a very important filter today.
What's the call on
oil,
the rupee?
as of now, especially downstream.
Yeah, sure. So I was asking
Sorry,
you.
the downstream.
Please carry on, Lalit.
The downstream oil possibly is a bit of an avoid. I mean, unless you want to be very, very opportunistic and you're trying to make a fine trade there, not a very fundamental call.
Okay. What's the call on the rupee, and thereby, does that call also impact your call on the IT services stocks?
I mean, it's like a tailwind, and there is definitely some strength to the argument that the rupee could weaken a little bit more given the state of government finances and our current account deficit. So yes, I mean, it does come to one's mind when one looks at second line IT that it's a tailwind which is there. But how much of it is going to play out in the next few months or in the next 1 year is very tough to say. It's very tough to take a call on rupee, because not just a call on the rupee, it's also a call on the dollar. So if there's a quantitative easing some months down the line, then again you have dollar weakening. So it's a tough call. So we would rather stick with the fact that IT businesses which are strong franchises, at the same time you also see the benefit of a possible potential tailwind from the rupee. Both of these factors obviously play a role, but I think the rupee is a minor factor, not a major factor. You can't buy companies based on the rupee movement. At least that's the way we look at things.
Right. What would you be outright bearish on in this market?
I think yes, PSU banks, you mentioned, real estate, anything which is highly leveraged or playing on the leverage factor, impacted by asset issues, whether it is infrastructure, whether it's significant leverage, whether it's PSU banks, whether it's any other play like an airline which is significantly leveraged. Anything where you're waiting for some clarity from the government on policy or where there is an asset quality issue. I think all of those stories would be something we would avoid. So it's not necessarily sector, it is a theme to avoid.
You correct me if I'm wrong, but Lalit, you mentioned at the start of the interview that you would still be looking at building positions in some beta stocks. So what are you looking at essentially? Are you focusing on commodities? Where are you building up your positions, especially after the Q1 earnings?
Fair enough. So we are looking at some utilities, some industrial names where we think that there is some strength in the business model, and it's a very slow process where there's some conviction coming in, and if there is an opportunity to get in at something we think is a reasonably fair with a fair price with a safety margin, we're looking at those stocks. So it could be in industrials also. But it's definitely not in PSU banks, to answer one of the earlier questions.
Good. Lalit, what about
cap goods? Not yet. We don't think it's time yet to look at that, because as I said, the project cycle and the project activity is sort of slowed down. You're not really hearing about corporates talking about major capex plans. The government itself, in terms of investment cycle, seems to have slowed down in terms of policy action as well as implementation of different projects. So it's not something we really look at from a top-down perspective. If there are some opportunities bottom-up, we might look at them, but in general, no.
There is a sense that, of course, with more liquidity coming into the market, or injection of liquidity happening through central banks globally, either the Fed or the ECB, that the money would actually flow into commodities. From that perspective, are you looking at agri-commodities? Actually, that's the sense that agri-commodities would see a rally. Would you look at playing sugar in that light? Because we've seen an uptick in prices.
I think there are certain issues in sugar which are very intrinsic to India, so I wouldn't want to talk about specifically sugar. But in terms of the expansion or QE or whatever, LTRO in Europe or QE in the US, I think some of it, unfortunately, starts getting reflected in market movement much before the announcement. So it's very difficult to say and play these in terms of, positioning yourself for an anticipated expansion in monetary conditions. So whether it's commodities will probably see some bounce, but we've seen that the nature of these QEs increasingly are giving diminishing returns. So it may not be something to play for from a very long-term perspective. It might play for maybe a couple of months. And then, the market goes back to long-term fundamentals and starts figuring out that things are not so great. And that's the reason you have these QEs in the first place. So you might want to, for somebody who's probably looking at a trading bet, it might make sense to maybe anticipate what Mr. Bernanke might do or what Mr. Draghi might do. But I don't think from a fundamental perspective there's a case to be made in metals, not with China slowing down, not with Europe and US not looking very great from a fundamental perspective. So the answer in short is not really great.
Okay, Lalit, good having you. Thanks so much for taking the time out and giving us your perspective. Of course, look forward to having you more often on the forum. Thanks for joining in on ET Now.